Hey folks, in this episode we're going to tackle some miscellaneous repairs in the basket case BMW. I'm going to fix those rattling exhaust headers. Plus I'm going to install a wideband O2 sensor. And I'm going to replace a leaky fuel injector. Also, in the last video I promised a test drive with the idle control valve delete. So we're going to do that also. Alright, that rattling noise was getting on my nerves, so I removed the header to clearance it. Right here you can see where this header pipe has been contacting the motor mount bracket. And on the motor mount bracket there's a witness mark right there. It looks like I can put a dent in the heat shield right here, and that should help. I'm also going to put a small dent in the header pipe right there too, just to be safe. The heat shield on the motor mount bracket is made of aluminum, so I should be able to just smack it with a hammer. The header pipe, on the other hand, is stainless steel, so I'll probably have to heat it with a torch to soften it up. Plus, I'm going to take an impact socket and lay it across like that and smack it with a hammer, so hopefully the dent won't look too ugly. Alright, we've got a nice dent in that heat shield now. Time to start working on that header pipe. And here we have our nice little dent in the header pipe. Now let's put this thing back in the car and see if it made a difference. Oh, I almost forgot. I want to install a wideband O2 sensor in this O2 bung, but unfortunately it sits too high. The O2 sensor will interfere with the firewall, so I'm going to trim it down, maybe about that high, to make some more clearance. Okay, the header is installed. Now it's time to install the motor mount bracket. Okay, clearance between the header and the motor mount bracket is still pretty tight, but I can slide a piece of cardboard in between them. So hopefully that'll make the rattles go away. Alright, we got our wideband O2 sensor installed. I had to tweak the firewall heat shield a little bit to make some room, but the heat shield is soft aluminum, so that was no big deal. The wiring for the wideband O2 runs up the firewall right here. I put it through here temporarily until I can get the wideband gauge installed. But we'll talk about that in another video. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so one of my fuel injectors sprung a leak. It's the injector for cylinder number 5. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at that little hole in the side of the injector, it sprays fuel out that little hole. I don't know why it's doing that, but in any case, I went to the salvage yard and I found another car with the same engine, and I grabbed some fuel injectors, so hopefully one of these will work. Okay, here's that injector that was leaking. Actually, it was leaking out of that little hole in the side right there. Not sure why. Anyway, the injectors I got from the salvage yard have the same part number as mine, so they should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to prime the fuel system and check for leaks. I don't see any leaks. That's good. Awesome. All right, we've got everything put back together, so let's start it up and see if the exhaust still rattles. Cross your fingers. I don't hear any rattles. That's a good thing. Nice. I would love to go for a test drive, but I haven't had dinner yet and it's getting late. So we'll have to do that in the morning. But for you guys, it'll just be a few seconds. Okay, so here we are sitting in a parking lot with the engine idling in neutral. It appears to be idling around 850 to 900 RPM, which is a little bit high, but it's better than before. The tune, as I downloaded it from the ms4x.com website, had it idling over 1000 RPM. I thought that was too high. I was able to make a few adjustments that brought it down a little bit, but I would like to bring it down to about 800. I think that would be fine. Anyway, let's take the car for a drive. Did you hear that? There's a little bit of strangeness at very light throttle, but only at very light throttle, like you're just barely touching the gas pedal. If you push the gas pedal a little bit more, it goes away. Also, the throttle response is excellent. The throttle response is much better than it was before. I think that's partly due to the fact that my idle control valve was going bad. Let's try manual mode. Figures I get stuck behind a slow car. But all in all, the idle control valve delete doesn't seem all that bad. It's, at least to me, it's perfectly drivable. There is a little bit of strangeness at light throttle and when you let off the throttle. You probably just heard that a moment ago. But I'll see if that can be tuned out. In any case, I don't see myself reinstalling the idle control valve anytime soon. You may have noticed something missing from this area. This is something I'm working on that you'll see in a future video. It should be coming up pretty soon. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.